Okay, brilliant. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. And thank you for the first presentation. It was really interesting. We are going to be continuing talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of competitive benchmarking. We're going to be seeing that uh, data is the center of digital marketing these days, how we can use it to get more visibility, to get more information about what is happening around us, and of course, what we can do with all the data that we have from our competitors. And for doing that, let me show you what we can do with all this data. So, what is competitive benchmarking? Uh, from a digital marketing perspective, competitive benchmarking is simple as that. Is comparing your company metrics against your competitors and seeing all this information from an helicopter view. We are having an analysis from a different perspective, not from the inside, but from the outside. We are going to be seeing how to do this. And moving on, let's talk about the good things from the very beginning. Yes. So the good things about competitive benchmarking is that, well, it's a process. It's a process that is already formed. It's a process that you can easily uh, reply, easily implement, because you have insights on competitors' internal processes as well to optimize your own. So you can have in a glance what your competitors are doing, starting from all the points, from the very beginning to the end. Then you see that you have a strategy to do competitive benchmarking. You have what are the strengths of your competitors and what are their mistakes, what are their red zones, right? And of course, you can measure all of that with the performance benchmarking. You can see the indicators and how to use all those indicators in a good way. Okay, so this is the good thing that you can replicate this process again and again. So let's go with the process itself. We see that as a good part of any process, you need to have a methodology. We're going to be sharing that as well. During the methodology points, we see that we have the identifying the competitors, the competitive research workflow, the market research as it is, but not all the points. We're going to be just touching the search performance, the gap analysis, and content opportunities that you have, the link profile analysis, social media analysis, and we're going to be wrapping up with the key takeaways. This is the way we're going to be conducting a competitive benchmarking. Let's start with the very first point, which is basically the methodology. What aspects are going to be analyzing here? So, first, we have the good part of competitive benchmarking with the market research. Easy to do, easy to handle. Then we're going to be moving to search performance, the gap analysis, the link profile, and social media analysis. Also, we're going to be using some tools for extracting all the data and all the data for our own benefit, which is, first of all, market and traffic data. We're going to be using clickstream data here to analyze all of that. Then we're going to see domain analytics, then keyword and topic analytics, then backlink analytics, and then social media analytics. So basically, all the information that we're going to be using here is based on competitive data. Let's start with the first step, which is identifying competitors. Which competitors really matter? And here I'm using a tool that is called Market Explorer. Here I'm analyzing some electrical companies here in Europe. Yes, as Aaron was mentioning, I'm broadcasting from Prague, and we have several energy companies, providers, and using Market Explorer, for example, we can identify which are the leaders of this segment, which are the game changers, those companies that are growing really fast in terms of keywords and backlinks, in terms of audience, in terms of relevance, and which one are already the established players and the niche players. So Just enter the name of your competitor, and you will see the data here in the growth quadrant. What are you? What companies are competing with you in terms? So this is the benchmark that we are doing using our own domain, our own company, own services, own products, with a custom market list from competitors that we have. We need to identify competitors, but not any competitors, direct competitors at the first glance. Then we're going to be moving to identify competitors that are not direct, indirect competitors, those that are inside our industry, but they are not competing with us directly. Who are they? You can mention, for example, here in the electrical provider sector, you can see that there are other companies, for example, like you can see here Schneider Electric or Siemens or in installation renovation or Rixel. All of these are inside of the same industry, but some of them are only in informational portals. Some of them are just blogs around all these services, and when we are adding all this information to our Market Explorer, the Grow Quadrant flow, it's going to be more easy to identify who are not our main competitors, so who are not the direct but indirect competitors. Using this information is really relevant to see what other chunk of the market, what other portion of the market we can also engage to or attract to have more reach. Okay, what are the conclusions here? Basically, the good of competitive benchmarking is that you can use the process, replicate it, and the first point, benchmark against your closest competitors will help you to understand what is your position on the market and what is the size of the market. Not only in terms of how many competitors they are, but also how many people, how many users or potential users are interested on this industry. Then you can see that you can use the key industry players or your direct competitors to replicate their winning strategies or to avoid what they are doing bad or their failures. Then you will see that you saw that we can use also indirect competitors to see how many other audiences we can attract and engage. Easily to that, right? But that's the good part. We have also the bad side of competitive benchmarking, which is basically you have tons of metrics. You have tons of other type of information that maybe you cannot use at all because doing this process is really time consuming. The bad side of competitive benchmarking is when you start with competitive benchmarking, you need to identify the strengths, the weaknesses of your competitors, comparing their performance against you. You have to think the metrics from the very beginning that you need to consider. You need to create the goals and the key performance indicators and keep your own metrics aligned with the ones of your competitors. So you need to start creating and building this whole process. And that's really time consuming, right? Based on the goals that you already created, you need to align all of that with the information that you have from your competitors. So the brand awareness, the competitor size traffic, the KPIs on ranking improvements from their keywords, the social media reach that they have, the product success. So there's going to be a lot of information that you need to use in order to have that helicopter view of what they're doing. Okay, challenge accepted, right? Let's start with that. Let's do the competitive benchmarking workflow based on a competitor study, let's say. So the five steps that we need to follow here, and this is where the theory goes to practical. The first step to enabling a competitive benchmarking, the first part of the workflow is to enable the market research and traffic strategy analysis. how they are attracting users to their websites, right? The second part is search performance analysis. The third part is gap analysis and content opportunities. Then link profile and referral traffic analysis and social media traffic and activities. This is an example, and this is a real case on how we are doing this in-house and how other companies are utilizing this information to build their own strategies. Let's start with the competitive benchmarking workflow. So here we picked up this company that is called sorry, Schneider Electric, SA.com versus seven other competitors. They're direct ones and indirect ones. Here you can see that we have Siemens, Eaton, Rockwell Automation, Emerson, Vertiv, Johnson's Controls. We are comparing the period between January 2020 and January 2021 to see what is the actual activity, what is the actual flow from the data that we gather. Okay, we're gonna be analyzing the traffic and search and the traffic strategy analysis. So all the sources of traffic in a glance. For doing that, we need to have data, tons of data. For doing the benchmarking, to pick the countries. Imagine that you're working not only in 5 countries, but in 195 countries. You need to gather all this data. We need to analyze the trends from all these countries and grab them in a single file to see with an eagle eye, what is the where are the strengths and weaknesses in which countries, for example, and we're going to be grabbing the most impactful data from all of them. For doing this, we're going to be picking a tool that is called SEMrush .trends or .trends only. All the data that this tool already gathered is around 500 terabytes of raw data, 190 regions and countries, not only the information by country, but also by in a city level to go higher on this spectrum of information. Million and more panelists, which means we have real user data here, enabled by clickstream data. And of course, this information can be obtained in a dashboard or through API. So if you are familiar with Python, if you are familiar with extracting data to your own dashboard, you can use any tools, Adobe, you can use um, Google datasheet, whatever that you can use, that will be graded. And all the events that we have per day are more than 1 billion. So the more information that we have, that you can have, the bigger the picture you will retrieve. All this data will be used to do this. So expansion as a first step. Market research, traffic analytics. Let's see what countries are the most, what in how many countries our competitors are working and they have the most impact, right? For example, here you can see that Siemens is working in 22 countries, Schneider Electric in 10 countries, Eaton in 3, Johnson, Emerson 1, 3, Honeywell 5. So here we already extrapolated all the data that we gathered, and we saw the condition. We established the condition, the first condition that we are selecting countries with over 50,000 traffic. That means 50,000 users per month in January 21 and January 20 and January 21 between the range of this whole year. Doing that, we already have 22 countries competing with Siemens, 10 countries competing with Schneider Electric, so and with Eaton only 3 countries. We have already our winner. 22 countries competing for our own chunk of the business, chunk of the industry with Siemens, and 3 with Eaton only. Then Honeywell with 5 countries. Expansion. Second, we see that we can pick the top 5 countries with traffic growth by regions. So we can enable a marketing team, a sales team, a customer success team, for example, to work directly with these countries if we are, for example, entering this market, or just analyzing this portion of the market. We can see that The most important KPIs that we have here is the traffic number. We already picked the ones that have 50,000 or more. Then we see that the ones that are really relevant, the countries that are really relevant by search in terms of search traffic, are basically all of them: States, Mexico, Great Britain, Australia, and India. And then we need to see what other strategies they are following: direct traffic, referral traffic, how many of them are growing socially, and how many of them are growing paid traffic. So all the information is already here. We can take this data, uh, take it from Market Explorer and Traffic Analytics. I already mentioned using the dashboard or through an API connection. And after that, you can do the next thing. So analyzing the top 10 countries by traffic growth in terms of our own domain. So here you can see the the domains that are growing more are Spain, Turkey, United States, Germany, Russia, Italy. You can see the growth of the traffic on those countries. Compare with the company called Siemens in these countries. The top that they have are Poland, France, Mexico. You can see Czech Republic as well. All these countries compared by tra- traffic growth, overall traffic. But we need to go a little bit granular here, right? Here, you need to see not only the increment in search traffic volume, but also the increment in keywords number by top positions. So we're going a little bit more granular. We need to see the increment in gained search features. What are those search features? If you remember from the last presentation, when someone is doing a research on a search engine, like let's say Google, you're gonna see, for example, a map or some graphs or some videos or some additional information gathered by questions. All those results are search features, which belongs to the search engine. The number of these search features that belongs to a company as a part of their results are the so-called search features. We need to see how many of them they gain. The incremented number of pages overall of the website. This is going to give us a really good idea on how many products they are adding, on how they're building their content. And then we need to see the branded versus non-branded traffic distribution to see what is the brand impact overall. People are they know and they come back for more to their competitor's website, or they are just new users that are coming because they are attracted by non-branded traffic. And in this case, let's start with the increment in search traffic volume. Here is very easy with domain analytics tool, which is the first one that I mentioned at the beginning of my presentation. This is domain overview. Just taking a look of the traffic that came from keywords, the organic traffic, right? You are not paying for this traffic, but you are creating content to rank for your top keywords. Here you can see the traffic keyword proportion in 2020 versus 2021 and how they increase or they stay in the same level. You can see that there are some competitors that they are just growing really, really fast because, okay, we have 1.5 years of pandemics. Most of the people went online. Well, all of the people went online in every single country, and you can see the interest on that they have was really big. We are talking about 500,000 of users for each company, and here just taking a look on the on the numbers of the growing numbers, then we see that what is the period that was most important for this growth. Doing this analysis, we saw that okay, we took the period from August 2020 till January 2021 because the intersection of the traffic of all these companies was in the most higher point. You can see that in January 2021, all these companies were competing basically at the same level. 1 year ago, in January 2020, you see that, okay, we have a leader of the company. We have Siemens as a leader of the company, then Emerson, then Elan. This in At the beginning of this year, we see that Siemens, Emerson, Eaton, they are at the same level. We don't have anymore a leader in terms of search volume for this industry. With Schneider Electric, for example, here we see that, okay, they were not creating a lot of content. They were not ranking a lot because their traffic in one single year was stable, not changes to the up or not downtrend, down side trends as well. Okay, once we have all this information, we go with the second part in terms of search traffic, which is the keywords. How did keywords number increase? In terms of keywords, that's the amount of keywords by site that they that they created for competing to each other. That's the percentage, not only the number but also the percentage to see. Okay, Iran growth in 44%, Schneider Electric in 40%, Emerson in 50%. But this means that the number was increasing, but the positioning for some of them was not increasing. Only the number of keywords. You can create really good content, have really brilliant ideas, but if you don't know what your competitors are doing and how they are creating their content, means the objective of the content creation, you will be just creating content because of the sake of creating content. So it's gonna be useless. Using this information also to make us understand, okay, what is the traffic growth and top position changes. The most important uh, positions for us are the ones that are in the first page of Google. But even that, beyond that, the most important positions for every single company are the top three places, the rank three, position one, second, and three. Why is that? Because of the so-called SERP feature. These results that are basically the images, the feature snippet, which is a really big chunk screen if you're in a small or a big screen, or the question asked by other people or people also ask, or any other search feature, are really prominent results that are going to give your second or third result on the search engine not the first position, but the position 6, 7, or 8, or in some cases you can try this at home as well. If you search for why the sky is blue, you're gonna be seeing that you don't have, right, at least in my location, you don't have the position one, the rank one for this search query. Why the sky is blue? You're gonna be having the first result at the bottom of your pages, because okay, we have a feature snippet, we have images, we have videos, and we have questions, other questions by users, or the people also ask. So that's why we need to notice. We need to be noticing these changes. Okay, once once we did this, we need to understand what are the top positions benchmarking. How many keywords you have in the top three in comparison with your competitors. In this case, you can see that Eden, they have 47 keywords in the top three. Then you can see that Emerson have 7, and Search Snyder Electric they have 19, which are giving them tons of traffic, which is really interesting, because if you only have one keyword in the first page of Google, you're basically not doing anything good. You need to have the more keywords at top positions are the best for any company. So that's why you need to see how your competitors are doing with this. So in this case, we have a clear winner here, which is Iran. Uh, Schneider Electric, they have a lot of interesting keywords as well, but you need to check what are these keywords, analyze a little bit higher, but this is not the benchmarking when you are going already so deep. That's another thing. Okay, once we finish with the keywords, we need to go with the search features. What about the search features? So remember, If you create if you type any keyword such as this, electrical panel mounting height, for example, you will be receiving this result, which is in yellow marked here, which is a feature snippet. All these search features are really good to have. So you don't need to just rank for keywords. You need to gain the more search features as you have, as you can. Why is that? Because these search features are going to be boosting the traffic and CTRs, the higher ranks for them as well. And these are basically built to give you brand awareness. Why you need brand awareness? So basically, people are going to be more familiar with what you're doing. Imagine that you need this the size of this panel, right? You are installing this electrical system in your house or in your one of your rooms, and you don't know this information. Here you have all the information you need in one single paragraph, which is brilliant. You don't need to have any more. And once you have this information, you can continue working. Who gave you this information? You can see, okay, the source is Schneider Electric. Okay, maybe this company, they know their stuff. So feature snippets and the other search features are going to give trust for the user, and they're going to be enabling brand awareness for you, which is a win-win situation. So understand how many of them is a good strategy, how many images they have, how many video carousels they have in the results, knowledge panel, local pack, how many people also ask they have. Here you can see that we already did this information. Even, for example, they have an increment in the whole year from January 2020 to January 2021 from 627% on images. So Schneider Electric, they have a 1,000%, at least 2,000% on people also asked a result. So these companies were working a lot on this kind of information. But the smartest move here was the people also asked, because if you are aiming to have a people's result, which is the result of a question, how to do this, where to find this information, what is, right? Definition of. All these questions are really good to enable people also ask results, and as a result of that, feature a snippet if you are in the top, at least top 10 results of the company. How many your competitors have? That's going to be really important to understand how competitive they are. If they are not using any of these search features or images, video, or carousel, you can see that, okay, that's an opportunity for your company to work with this type of result. Then you can see that how many search features they gain and what is the percentage of the growth. In this case, you can see that for this specific industry, well, basically it's for others too, the people also ask search feature was the most important. Basically, it is. You have at least 3 billion people's users and potential users sitting in front of their computers for a whole year. People are going to be asking a lot of questions, and you need to have those questions in a really good shape for your own website. Then you can see that who has more search features in January 21, so at the beginning of this year when we have the lockdown. You can see that one of the companies, they have not only the people also ask, but the image pack. They have their products, they have all the images in a really good shape, basically all of them. Then you can see the side links, and then you can see the people also ask result. So basically all the people asking questions, but they want to see visual proof of their result. How to check if there was an increment on content pieces, how to see if they were creating content, right? So basically the number of pages that they created, that's going to be the change of the number of pages that's going to be giving us a really good idea on that, and we can also extract all that information. The the five step here is the branded versus not branded. How many branded keywords, those that are including your brand domain, your brand name, and versus those that are not including that. If you are using those that are not including that, those are new users, new prospects for your company. If you are using branded methodologies here, you're gonna see that those are users that are already aware about who you are. Comparing those are really good for see potential lacks in terms of user acquisition. then we will see that the best strategy is to understand what is the percentage between brand and branded traffic. Some of the good marketers out there, for example, Raj Data, the co-founder of Bloomerage, say that marketers from a strong brand are pursuing the 60 to 40% ratio between branded and non-branded traffic, because that's the way that you need to work with these two sources of traffic. But it depends on the industry. Let's be honest. And the ugly of competitive benchmarking. Competitive benchmarking is not competitive analysis. We are not going too deep into the analysis. We're just going there. That's our view. That's our perspective. They have those are the changes that they have between 2020 and 2021. We're not going to be doing a deep analysis as we do in competitive analysis, right? So that's the ugly part, because you still need to do the whole work, the whole research. You need to extract the whole data, but you're not going to be using all the data. That's not very good, right? That's the ugly part. You still need to understand the missing keywords. You need to spot the weak keywords, discover the search features, and what is the share of voice as an SEO potential matter, right? For doing this, watch which keywords they have in the most competitive part in between all your competitors. Here you can see that in the gap analysis, this is the keyword gap tool. You can see that the intersection of all these circles are those that you need to use in order to understand what is happening in your industry. And of course, working on this is going to give you a glance of, okay, what are the keywords that I need to use? Just an example, right? Transformers. Not all the companies are working with this keyword. Just the positioning you can see here are really bad. Let's go to another keyword, circuit breaker. Okay, Iran, they are in the eighth position, but Schneider Electric or Siemens are in the second and third page of Google. So they have no chances to receive all these 50,000 potential users per month. So Iran here is doing a great work, and so on. You can see all the positioning in a glance by comparing their keywords. But again, you don't need to do that for a competitive benchmark. You just need to see the percentage and the numbers growth. And of course, when we are doing the gap analysis, we need to understand as well that we can extract the data and copy paste it into an Excel, export it or copy paste it into an Excel spreadsheet to see what are the gaps and where do we need to go next with all the information. The same with the search features, as I mentioned before, grapple the data and see the content opportunities. Do I need to create more content, more videos, more images? Also, having the information from the share of voice. What is the potential share of voice? So share of voice is a measure of the market your brand owns compared to your competitors. So how many times they're mentioning your brand in terms of search traffic. Also, it shows which websites rank most frequently for a given set of keywords, for a set of top topics or of keywords, right? And this metric is really important because it's going to be showing you where you are exactly positioning. This is going to be the potential growth that you have. And the last two topics that I like to share here, which are really important here for the benchmarking process, is the link profile analysis. Comparing your own profile, how many referral traffic, what is the percent of the referral traffic that you're receiving versus your competitors, and of course, what is the trend on this traffic between all your competitors. They are doing good in referral traffic, they are not. And to see, of course, how this, what is the profile of the backlink from for all your competitors. Where are the best friends? Who is the company that is benefiting from this strategy? And if you can see here, we are going to be seeing as well from which industries these backlinks are being are coming from. Business industry, internal telecom. So you're going to be analyzing. Okay, this company is more interested on this chunk of the industry, on this part of the industry that we are competing with. As you can see here, Also, we can do the social media analysis to see what is the growth, what is the activity growth, what is the engagement growth, basically to understand what is the percentage of the traffic that they are receiving and how they are receiving from images, links, videos, what are the how many posts they are posting per day, how many what is the engagement rate that they have, all of them. Building all of this to understand two simple things. What is the positioning, not only in search, but also on social media? Saying, okay, you are active with what? With videos, with photos, with links, and to decipher the winning strategy. What is the best post that that it was published in my industry around my competitors? You can see here posts from in Facebook or on Twitter, also using social media tracker tool like you see here, and having this information with the engagement benchmark will gonna give you a really big idea on how many people are really interested on a service, let's say electrical service, and how many of them are engaged with that, commenting, posting, and talking. The main key takeaways. So you can see that in a global level, we saw that Schneider Electric has search as main channel in all locations they are working. Uh, the other competitors are working also with search, but more often with direct traffic or and referral traffic. So they need to consider this. All the data and tools helped us to understand the macro positioning for a detailed competitive benchmarking, and also we need to keep tracking on the results. This is not just a one a day job. Is seeing every single month what is happening with the trends, what is happening with the results. The key benefits helps to give you an accurate idea of the market overall, predict the future changes, close the gaps between the leader of the market and the game changers of the market, streamline marketing processes, and of course outrank competitors, which is a really, really good idea. Well, basically, if you have any questions, don't mind to reach out on semrush.com or direct by email or on my LinkedIn. I'll be very happy to connect with all of you. Hope this information was helpful to you. And let me go with Aaron. Thank you very much to all of you.